Okay, let's do a little thought experiment. Remember that I've said before that my whole game since the late 90s has been putting a lot of my content on the internet for free for people to find in search engines, and that particularly in the early years that was very effective for me being found. A lot of people think that that is somewhat unethical, and that the permissive climate that has allowed a lot of stuff to be published, self-published without any accountability, has contributed to the situation now we have with the elections and with Facebook and the divisions, because that content like this tends to go to people who are in a bubble to start with anyway, and it tends to feed further more divisions and encourage enemies and sort of like that. So let's just assume for a thought experiment that it wasn't permitted anymore, and that anything that was published had to be reviewed before it was published, and it had to pay its own way. Let's just assume as a thought experiment that that's how it worked. How would that affect someone like me? Well, that would mean that I would have to join up with somebody. I would have to be part of a group and support the aims of the group, even aims that I disagreed with. Very much like a candidate does when they run for office in a political party. I would have to be a lot more partisan, which is I do not like, because right now I can pick and choose exactly what I want to say about any issue and ignore ignore the causes that I don't think are particularly mine to address. But I can see that that may rub a lot of people the wrong way. I may think that marching in a demonstration and shouting in a demonstration is beneath me, but saying that could rub people the wrong way. I might have to be willing to do that in a world where I couldn't speak for myself. Or I might have to give money to organizations that were willing to speak, but that could speak for me, but that perhaps took more extreme positions, perhaps were more tribalist in nature, and took more extreme positions toward, to benefit those who are not as competitive personally, and not as able to take care of themselves as maybe the rest of us. I'm not one who likes to make a lot of group injustices, but I might have to be willing to participate in more of that in order to protect my own private, world that I'm used to. I might have to volunteer more, and I might have to accept somebody else's supervision, and that would in a sense say that my own place in the world would have to be right-sized, and it would be up to others in a group. That I would not be allowed to choose my own public goals without the approval of others in a group. That might be a tribal group of some kind. So yes, it would really pretty much end the life that I've had if somehow as a result of all these problems with Facebook, or with the weakening of Section 230, the Backpage bill, for example, or net neutrality, or some of these other things, that we no longer have user-generated content.